I'll tell you what, I'm about to move further south. I don't think I've ever seen so much cold weather and snow in Arkansas in my entire life. It looks cool, it looks neat, and this is a dry snow. It's not really a wet, slippery type, but I don't like it, you know. I didn't come down here to get this kind of crap. About a year ago, we shut down our wood stove. That's just been a trusty little wood stove for over 20 years. It's an Englander, and the wife said the ashes were getting to her sinuses and tearing her up. And I'll tell you what, you know, finding wood nowadays is getting harder and harder and harder. Wood cutters and wood suppliers, they've raised the price so high that they've priced themselves right out of a job, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. But that's okay. We have alternatives.
Early 60s. It's on a circuit board, just like this one is. By the way,
I'm sitting here watching all the videos that you folks have posted over the weekend. Dennis Carter, Nathan, and now Old Radio Al. And this is his mashup 5 part 2. You know, I'm really enjoying these videos. I'm just kind of sitting here just watching them, and I am so tired I can't even write any comments. I can't even respond to the comments on the video I just posted. I think it was part 13 or something like that. I don't even remember. I am bushed. I had a rough day in the yard today, working and then cooking and then doing a few other things that wifey wanted to do. I'm just totally exhausted. So this is the change we're going to make. We're switching from, you know, log wood kind of burning to a pellet stove. And I've been watching this stove at Lowe's all winter long. February 16th, and the temperature is 65 degrees. Now this is the Arkansas we all know and love. A friend of mine bought one of these for his house, only he bought one that's larger. And his is an Englander. Labeled Englander, even though this one's made by that same company. He got one for, I think his is 2,200 square feet. And I've been watching him and talking to him about it for 3 years. And he says it's great. And we went over to his house and looked at it. And boy, it does. It heats the whole house. And since today is such a nice day, it's a good time to get out and burn the old brush pile. It's been sitting there for quite a while. We just about got it all done. You lift this door on the back of the stove, and this is the hopper where the pellets all go. And down in the bottom down there, you see that auger? There's an auger that takes the pellets. It turns by an electric motor, and it turns around like this, and it begins to extract the pellets from the hopper and feed them into the front of the stove, where there's a second auger. And that auger is, I don't know, I think that's a second auger right there. It may only be one auger, I'm not sure. But anyway, the pellets come out and they fall. They fall. Get this thing to fit in there, right? Maybe if I put it in there right, that would help, huh? Yeah. The pellets come out of that auger right there. And then they fall on top of that little metal plate. Now this is the entire burning area of the stove. And there is a fan that blows air and basically feeds the fire air, just like the old blacksmith used to have with the bellows, you know. The more he puffed the bellows, the hotter it got. Well, the fan blows air into there, and this thing here apparently has come out. This thing here has to go back also. When we moved it, a couple of things went clinkety clank when we brought it in the house. But anyway, the entire burning area is right there, and it burns a lot of flame, those little pellets. And this is what the flame looks like as you look through the door. It looks like a big old log burning in there, but it's not. It's just those pellets. And it takes a 3-inch pipe out the back. You don't need the big old 6-inch or 8-inch pipes that we were using. A 3-inch pipe out the back takes care of the whole problem. And once a week, all you have to do is take a little shovel and shut the stove down, take a little shovel, and just sort of shovel out a few of the ashes. My buddy, he says he just takes the ashes and throws them over into there and then he throws the other and then over into that area down there. And finally, when they start getting a little bit full, then he'll shut the stove down completely and vacuum it all out. Almost no ashes whatsoever. Well, we need to get some clothes on Cupid John there. Wifey says it looks just like me. Well, since I'm in the fire starting mood today, I figured what the heck. It's warm out. Haven't had any cookouts since before winter time. I'm ready for some fried potatoes and onions. You know, I keep warning old Radio Al up there that Mac's going to come up there and just tear up his ankle bones. And old Al says, you know, it's kind of hard to be afraid of a dog that wears a sweater. Well, I'll tell you what. This is just his, out in public sweater. When he just wants to look his best and all that. But I'll tell you what. When he gets the bloodlust on, he doesn't wear this sweater. This is the sweater he wears. About the only drawback that I can find about a pellet stove is it requires electricity to operate the fans and the auger. And of course, if you lose power, what then? You can't burn wood or coal or anything like that in these stoves. You can only burn pellets. So that means I'm going to have to go out and buy a generator. Well, that's no problem, because if we lose power, I should have a generator anyway. I just had been too cheap to buy one. And as usual, we have the old iron skillet. I'll tell you what, it just seems like this winter's been so rough by Arkansas standards, not by other folks. Other folks probably think we should be going to the beach down here even in the wintertime, but that's not. By our standards, it was very cold this year, and it's been so long since we've had any outdoor fried potatoes and onions. I cannot wait. And it's all controlled by push buttons, electronic push buttons on the side of the stove. I think that's neat. You've got a low fuel feed, low burn air, and temperature. You got on off. You can increase the heat range or the blower speed. It's really slick. It really is. Now I understand, the motor does hum a little bit, but when you think about all the savings on wifey's allergies, I think it's a whole lot better deal. Anyway, it comes with a whole package of stuff here. Got that coiled handle in there that goes on the front door. I've got to put it all together, and I think there's supposed to be like a CD that comes with this thing in here somewhere. I think there's there is. I think there's a CD in there that shows you how to tear it apart and fix it if it ever needs to be fixed, how to operate it. Kind of a neat deal. This stove is a summer's heat, but it's made by Englander stove, or England. I'm kind of hoping I can retire in the not too distant future, but of course you never know with our economy what's going to happen from one minute to the next. But when I do, I'm going to be able to cook out every day. Anyway, I just thought you'd like to see what a pellet stove is if you've never heard of one. Going to run about $200 to $300 a year a winter to heat the house with this thing. About a ton of pellets, maybe a little bit more. So that's another project I'll be doing pretty soon. Getting this thing installed. Our old stove's going to our daughter's house so she can have a better heat source for her house. I'm watching old Radio Al's recent Vintage Mashup number 5 part 1 video. Let's hear what he has to say in the first part here.
I'm asked quite often how I transmit, music of the era on my radios, and the answer to it is really quite simple. I use an AM transmitter.
Yes, he uses an AM broadcast band transmitter. And he buys his, he has bought and used the SS Tran, which is the AMT 3000. And I think right now he's using the Vectronics VEC 1290. He also has I assume he's used it, the FM to AM converter transmitter. And prior to all of this, he had a tube outfit that he purchased. It had 1 or 2 tubes, I think it was, all purchased. Well. Al, all you gotta do is buy a few parts, maybe 35 bucks total, maximum, and make your own. Just turn it on and it'll transmit throughout the entire house. Look at that, no wires, no nothing. I got it all on the antenna. You can do it, boy. Oh, wifey brought out some thin sliced pork steaks. Oh, and I've got the onions in there. Our whole yard smells so good. I want everybody to know that my mentor, Brendan, is a new millionaire. That's right, $1 million. He has hit the lottery. Can you believe it? He was notified the other day. It says that he has won the lottery in Kenya. And if you'll send him an email, all they have to do is give him his bank account number and they'll transfer the money right away. Isn't that amazing? Wow, I tell you, it's good to know that I have millionaire friends. And he also got another email from another guy in Kenya who's a prince. And he says he wants to give Brendan free health care for life. Holy mackerel, that was his lucky day for Brendan. All they want is a bank account number, his social security number, and his confidential health information, and he will make that happen. Brendan will have free health care for life, and he's a millionaire. You know, you can have all your old fancy restaurants where you pay high prices, but, you know, sometimes, you know, good old country cooking on an outdoor fire, just an open fire in a big old skillet is the only way to go. I mean, it smells so good, and I guarantee you it's going to taste good.
From out of the past, where forgotten things belong, you keep.
Well, we're just going to go ahead and eat right out of the old skillet, aren't we, baby?
Yep.
Saves on, you know, bowls and stuff. I can't wait for mine. How's it look, Ethan? We got our old grandson Ethan over here. It looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Grandma, she's in her house coat. I guess you're getting ready to go to bed, huh?
Been in bed all day.
Oh, you been in bed all day? Well, that's no good. Next time you can wash my truck, okay?
No.
Wifey went downtown and came back a few minutes ago. And when she came back, she brought us, me and great-grandma, a nice shake. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and enjoy this shake and end this video right here. Until next time, this is John.